Welcome to Are You Quizzing Me? I'm Vineet Nair with my co-host Aditya Kashyap. This is a quizzing trivia podcast show where we ask each other questions and share what we know and learn with you. Though in a quizzing format, it's not competitive. The questions are simply a way of sharing our love of trivia. So sit back, relax, and join us as we explore the depths of human knowledge. Here's the format. We ask each other questions alternatingly, as many as time permits, while giving as many clues as needed to help each other get to the answer. Let's get quizzing.
Another day and another episode. We are back with a brand new episode of Are You Quizzing Me? Before we start the proceedings, it's time for our weekly round of self-flagellation. Aditya, you have a question to answer.
I do. And I think we should give this caveat today that we are recording super late at night. So any of our listeners, who might think that we are slower than usual, it's only got the late hour of the day to blame and nothing else. And that note, I should also give you the answer to last week's question, which was what would be the scent that would be used as an alarm if there were Indian scientists who were designing the fire alarm instead of the Japanese ones. And I realized it would be a very simple thing actually, and it would be more universal than just a fire alarm because it would work in the case of a fire, but it would also work if there was a snake bite, or honestly, if even the heavens are falling down. It
Oh
will
my
work in
god.
all these scenarios and many others. And that would be the scent of a broken heart. You see, there is a very famous
Oh,
Hindi song which
oh
goes
no.
Kahin aag lage lag jave,
Oh god.
kahin
No,
naag
you.
dase das jave, kahin gagan gire gir jave, is toote dil ki peed sahi na jaye. So the only thing that you can't tolerate is the scent of a broken heart. And that, my friends, would be the greatest alarm that one could ever design. And that is my answer.
I think somebody might, someone who's listening to this now today or in the future, we might find a way to weaponize your answers more than anything else. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's over. And my apologies to everyone listening. Uh, I would let's go ahead with the questions. Aditya, it's your turn to start off the proceedings. So let's have a
Okay.
question.
Well, since I did just quoted a Bollywood song, I'm going to also start with the Bollywood question.
Okay.
So, in 1922, there was a
Mm-hmm.
play which was written by this playwright. His name is 3 words long, and I'm going to give you the last part of his name, which is Taj. And the first part is X. So, X comprises of two names, like a first name and a middle name. Okay.
Okay.
So first name, middle name, and the last name being Taj. So X
Hmm.
Taj. X Taj wrote a play, and this play became the inspiration for one of
Hmm.
the biggest hits in Hindi cinema, released in
Okay.
1960. A contemporary movie director whose name is also X is a huge fan of this movie, this epic, historic, amazing Bollywood film. Let's call the film Y. He's a fan of the film Y, and he paid homage to the film Y. The contemporary director X paid homage to the film Y by dressing up his lead actress in a costume which directly referenced the movie.
Okay.
So identify X and identify Y.
Given the, I don't know. So basically, from what you said, my mind is immediately going towards Sanjay Leela Bhansali, and is this Mughal Azam?
You did identify Y correctly, which is Mughal Azam. Well done, well done. But Sanjay Leela Bhansali would not fit because X is 2 words, 2 names. So, oh yeah, it's not Sanjay Leela. So the director's name is literally that first name and that last name, which for the playwright was first name, middle name, and then Taj. So, for example, if it was the director was, let's name a contemporary, Karan Johar, right? So the playwright would have been Karan Johar Taj, and then the contemporary director would be Karan Johar. But Karan Johar is obviously not the right answer. What is the name of the playwright and also the contemporary film director, Hindi film director?
You said he dressed up one of his heroines in homage to Mughal Azam.
Yes.
That's also a period film because well, at the moment I'm thinking it'll be something. It'll be a period film, right?
Interestingly, no.
Oh,
Yeah. This film, the contemporary director's film in which he paid homage, is from 2007. It was one of the biggest hits of the year, if not the decade.
nope. I'll need a clue.
Um, so it was a 2007 film that I already mentioned. It is also the second venture as a director for X.
Second venture as a director, 2007.
If I gave you the leads of the film itself, it would be easy. So let me give you the leads of his directorial debut. That starred Abhay Deol and Aisha Takia in 2005. That was his first film. In the second film is the one where he paid homage to Mughal Azam.
Okay. Abhay Deol and Aisha Takya.
Perhaps you haven't seen it. The first film was not as big a hit, so maybe you're not
Okay.
familiar. The second
Okay.
film is a massive hit. Let me give you another clue. The second film, the leads were dating at the time,
Okay.
and soon thereafter they broke up. So they were the actors themselves were dating, and they soon broke up. Soon thereafter they broke up.
Wait, 2007 actors who are dating, that's practically everyone. Uh,
A very famous couple, one of those big celebrity couples. Well, the
wait,
lead act. Mhm.
yeah, yeah, give me the lead. Give me the leads. Give
The
me the
lead
leads.
actor's name in the film is Aditya Kashyap.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the character's name is Aditya Kashyap.
Is Aditya Kashyap?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I feel like accusing you for having an indulgent question, but this is still puzzling. I can't remember who who had such a name, Aditya Kashyap.
Okay, I'll tell you. The actors were Shahid Kapoor and Kareena Kapoor.
Oh my God, this is Imtiaz Ali. Jab we met.
Yes. It is Jab We Met. It is Jab We Met. Jab We Met being a second picture movie, and the first one was Socha Na Tha as a
Oh, which
director.
I've not seen.
Yeah, not the most popular of his films, but decent film nonetheless. Interestingly, the reason I give this trivia is because Imtiaz Ali is a huge fan of Mughal Azam. In the very first scene where you see Kareena Kapoor jumping onto the train, she's wearing a all white outfit, but her white top has the Mughal Azam poster on it. So it literally has the
Oh,
Mughal Azam poster on that, and that she wears for a significant portion of the film, almost the entire first act and a little bit of the second act. She's wearing that. And Imtiaz Ali Taj is the name of the playwright who wrote the play Anarkali, upon which K. Asif based his iconic film Mughal Azam. So I love the little coincidence of Imtiaz Ali Taj and Imtiaz Ali
and
being this.
Shahid Kapoor's character was
Well,
named
yeah, Aditya Kashyap, yes.
Aditya Kashyap. Okay, okay.
He was, yes.
Okay, so let me go to a question slightly different.
Go for it.
Tommy Nutter was a British tailor. famous for reinventing the Savile Row suit in the 1960s. He described his suits as a cross between the big shouldered Miami Vice look and the authentic Savile Row look. He also created the clothing of the Joker, worn by Jack Nicholson in 1989's Batman. And in the late 60s, three gentlemen wearing his suits became a worldwide sensation. Although it could have been four if one had not decided to wear denims. What am I talking about?
Three of them wore suits. One of them wore denim in the 1960s.
Yeah.
Is it Abbey Road?
Yes, it is the cover for Abbey Road. Oh, you
Abbey
got that way too quickly. Should have made this a little more vague, but yes, yes.
I'll tell
Yeah.
you why I got this very quickly, because usually while preparing these questions, I go through
Uh-huh.
my set list, and one of my
Okay.
visual questions is the Beatles. Just before they cross the road, they're all preparing on the sidewalk,
Ha ha ha.
and it's a very interesting picture because you remember Abbey Road by them walking, but this is them
Yes.
standing at the sidewalk. And for those who are interested, you can Google that picture right before they did the walk. They're standing
Very
there.
nice.
So
Very
I
nice. Very
remember
nice.
their outfit from that picture. Yes,
Yes.
it's a very
So
iconic.
Tommy Nutter is the the name of the tailor who's responsible for that, and
Hmm.
it's also the project that he's most famous for and he was most proud of, basically.
Okay.
And for the cover of the Beatles album Abbey Road in 1969, he dressed three out of four. Do you remember who's the one who elected to be photographed in denims?
I have absolutely no clue. I'm gonna make a guess. Was it Lennon?
No, it wasn't Lennon. It is George Harrison.
Oh, ooh, there was gonna be a second guess. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Harrison.
No,
Okay.
Harrison has this thing, he was always a slightly odd one, odd man out.
Yep, yep, yep. Fair enough.
And
Fair enough.
Ringo was just happy to be included. So, no, no, that's unfair. That's
Would
unfair, but still, yeah.
would complain. All right.
Okay,
Okay. Great.
so your question.
So let's go a bit further back in British history.
Okay.
What event that happened on January 20th, 1936 was actually practically a scandal that was revealed only in 1986. And the reason for that action to have happened was because the rationale that was given when it was revealed in 1986 finally in a diary from that era, 50 years later, was because the news would have been inappropriate for the evening journals.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. This was the death of the king, and I think the doctor, his bedside doctor, the person who was taking care of him in his last hours, actually euthanized him because he didn't want the news going out to the evening journals and he wanted it to happen in the morning. So he hastened the king's death by euthanizing him.
I could not possibly expect a better answer. That is exactly right. So let me just fill in the few details. King George V was very sick in that year and was pretty practically breathing his last few breaths. Just before midnight, he passed away on January 20th, 1936. 1986, 50 years later, in the diary of his physician, Lord Bertrand Dawson wrote that he had injected the king with morphine and cocaine, enabling a painless death and also ensuring that the king passes at an appropriate time such that his news is revealed in the morning papers because he passed just before midnight, so the news would be published in the morning papers and not the more, perhaps in his view, inappropriate evening journals. So he
Yes, so
euthanized King George V. Yeah.
yeah, I this was actually one of the questions I had put aside, not for today, but it's there in my list. I couldn't remember the name of the doctor, but yes, I remember the fact that I remember when I remember reading this for the first time and thinking, "Oh my God, a king of England was euthanized,
Was
put
euthanized. Yeah,
down." My
this
God.
does not sound like it would be true, but it is. Yeah, yeah. Well, you got that too quickly. All right, let's move on to yours.
Okay, so this is a 200-page novel written by Sheridan Simov. He said that the book was the result of extensive research of 39 years, and he basically got his findings and he wanted it known to be known to the world, basically. The book outperformed both Harry Potter and the Da Vinci Code on Amazon. What is so special about his book? It's a 200-page novel written by Sheridan Samov. I'll give you the title as a clue if you require. But if you can
Wait, so
tell me from.
if you give me the title, then what do I have to answer?
No, I'll give you the title as a clue. I need you to tell me what's special about the book.
What is special about the book?
Yeah, what's unique about it? That it outperformed both Harry Potter and the Da Vinci Code on Amazon.
So I'm assuming I would have heard of this book, but what's the name of the author again?
Sheridan Samov.
That sounds so unfamiliar. Interesting. Okay. What is unique about this book? I'm gonna guess is it written in Braille, but that would not be
No.
outperforming it. And when you say Amazon was like ordered on Amazon physical, or do you mean Amazon ebooks?
No, either or doesn't matter. It became famous after a physical delivery.
Oh, pages were out of order or something, but that would not be such a unique thing, I imagine.
Okay, I'll give you the name of
Um,
the book. This should be able to get you. So the title of the book was "What Every Man Thinks About Apart from Sex."
oh, was it an empty book? Was there no pages in it? Or...
It was a completely empty book. All the pages were blank.
Oh, that is phenomenal. Oh my god.
So, author and comedian Sheridan Simo claimed in his gripping book, "What Every Man Thinks About Apart from Sex is basically nothing." So all the pages in the book was blank, and he filled the book with 200 blank pages. And even though you could say it is far from well written, it climbed the rank of the Amazon charts to number 744, and even outsold both Dan Brown's Da Vinci Code and J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. It turned out to be a campus craze throughout Britain after a student at the University of Nottingham bought the book as a joke for her friend who brought it to class to take notes on.
Oh, lovely. Oh boy, that is so precious. I love it. Oh, that is genius. I love
Okay,
it.
good crack, good crack. Your turn?
Oh, we are blazing through questions tonight. I love it.
Yes, we are.
Okay. Um, Let me first ask this before we get into the question. Are you a
Okay.
fan of the YouTube channel CGP Grey?
I am not. And would it be churlish of me to say I've never even heard of them?
No, I mean, there are so many millions of YouTube channels, I imagine. Uh,
Okay.
Nobody possibly would know most of them also. But the
Okay.
reason I ask is because this is from a very recent video of his. This is just a shout out also to any listener that if you love trivia, if you love just learning things in a very interesting way, CGP Grey YouTube explainer videos are fantastic source of just knowledge. Yeah. So,
Okay. I didn't know.
Vineet,
Okay.
I'm gifting you something for the next whole week.
Okay,
Please
I'll
enjoy and
binge
let me
through
know how
his
much. I mean,
collection of videos.
I assure you, if you start with one, you will watch all of them. Okay, great. So this is from one of his more recent videos. There was a 1996 game or a program, a computer program. It was a 3D Atlas program developed by the Multimedia Corporation. Graham Bartram designed something very unique for this 3D Atlas program that became a universal symbol. So I'm being a bit vague right now, and I'll give you more hints as we go along.
Okay.
But Graham Bartram designed something for this game that became a universal symbol which hadn't quite existed before for geopolitical reasons. What did he design for this 3D Atlas program?
Okay. When you say 96, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Reaching back and through the fog of time back to 1996, when you say 3D Atlas and program, my mind goes to Encarta.
Okay.
Is this something to do with Encarta?
No, so it's a visual design. It's a visual design
Okay.
that he came up with. So it doesn't have anything to do with Encarta. It is a visual
Okay.
design that he came up with
Okay.
to represent a physical entity. This
To
physical
represent a
entity,
physical entity.
a visual design to represent a physical entity.
Nope, you'll have to give me something a little more
Okay, yeah, I
specific.
think I've been unnecessarily vague. um, it's a flag that he designed.
He designed a flag.
Yes, Graham Bartram designed a flag, and this was a flag that was designed only for the program slash game, and yet it became rather universally adopted.
Flags are very contentiously debated kind of things. You don't just get somebody designing it for a program and then everybody accepting it. They're
Sure, and
intrinsic part of national identity.
to be completely fair, there was a proposal to redesign the flag for this specific physical entity in 2018.
Okay, so if you're saying it's a flag. Is it like an organization? Is it a flag for an organization?
It's not for an organization, no.
It's not an organization. Is it a country?
Think Atlas and flag. So it and physical entity.
Was it a disputed piece of land or a country which was disputed? Something like East Timor or
Yes,
Eritrea.
yes, yes. You could say there are disputes. Yeah, there are land disputes. You could say that. Let me also give you another hint. He used so when you Graham not oh I keep messing up his name. Apologies. Graham Bartram, when he was designing the flag, he used the flag of the United Nations as his inspiration.
Okay, so then it's not Eritrea or East Timor where the flag was accepted. And if it's in United Nations, then it'll be blue. It'll be a blue flag.
You are very much on the mark.
It has to be a recent flag because if it's
Okay, so it is
96, it's.
not a country. Let me help you out over there. It is not a
Oh,
country.
okay. It's not a country. Wait, is this a flag for a UN entity like UNICEF or
Not an organization
UNESCO?
either. Not
Okay,
an
not an
organization
organization.
either.
Okay, what else is left? What else is left? You have city states, you have. But again, I think you wouldn't be that petty. If it's not a country, it's
No,
probably not a
no.
city state either.
It
No.
isn't a city state. It isn't a human demarcated boundary, if that helps. It's not a human
Not
demarcated
demarcated by
region.
humans.
Yeah. So not a city state, not a I don't know, emirate or whatever. It's none of those.
Not demarcated by humans. It's a geographical entity. Let's
Correct?
put it that
Yeah.
way. Yes,
Yeah.
you wouldn't
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
wrong in calling it a geographical entity, right?
No, no, you would not be. You would not be wrong at all.
Nope. I need some other clue. I'm blanking out. Where do you have something on Earth which is not demarcated by humans? Obviously, it's not a country, it's not a city state, it's not fictional, it's real, and it is disputed. No, dude, you'll have to give me a little something more.
I guess you could say it was probably first seen by humans in 1820.
Seen by humans in 1820.
Yeah.
So humans had never set eyes on this
And the
geographical.
first confirmed human presence there was in 1895.
1895. What was colonized so late? By that point, Australia was already colonized, so was New Zealand,
No, no. Because
South
Australia
America.
would also not be considered 1895 because they were that would also be contentious and be from a Western perspective of history
Yes,
because
obviously,
Australia
yeah,
has
the
very north of it.
Aborigines
Yeah. So
discovered
no, no.
it
I
50,000
mean
years ago.
very much never.
Yeah,
Uh,
see, in all fairness, when we say discovered, it's impossible to say that anybody discovered anything because
in
I
this
don't
case,
think
it
there
it
are.
might be true. In this case, it might be true that it was discovered
Because human
in
migration
1820.
had, humans migrate even across the ocean to the Pacific Islands 20,000 years ago. Australia was
Oh
colonized
yes, you
50,000
are.
years
Oh,
ago.
you are absolutely right. But humans did not go everywhere. Till 1820, nobody had seen it, and 1895 is when they first set foot on it, at least for the
Oh,
first people.
okay. I really want to call you a bad word right now because I have a feeling, is this Antarctica?
It is Antarctica.
Okay, you led me on a very merry chase, huh? Very nice,
I
very
did,
nice.
I did, I did, I did. Antarctica is the place. Antarctica didn't have a flag that was agreed upon widely till 1996, and Graham Bartram designed this for the 3D Atlas program. And it is the flag is basically a blue background and literally the shape of Antarctica in the center of it, which is
Okay, to be
inspired
fair, I've never
by.
seen it.
If you do Google it, you it might seem familiar, and it is very
Okay,
familiar also because it is inspired by the United Nations flag, which is blue,
possible,
and
possible.
the world map from the North Pole. It is a view of the world from the North Pole,
Oh,
the
okay.
United Nations
I
map.
should look it up. I should look it up. But that was a very cleverly worded question. Tricky, tricky, Aditya. Mr. Kashyap,
So,
I'm going to get you back for that.
because it was from the North Pole, he decided that he wanted a South Pole image, and that fit perfectly for Antarctica, and it became, in fact, most emoji keyboards. When you Google the flag of Antarctica, that's the one that will show up.
I've
So,
never had occasion to, ever look up the flag of
well,
Antarctica, but now I will. Now I will.
tomorrow, at least one person, and this is not just for Vineet, this is for all our listeners. Send the flag of Antarctica randomly to one person on your WhatsApp, and don't
Yes, a lot
explain
of
yourself.
puzzling responses from other side.
Just let them
Okay,
figure it out.
okay, very nice question. In all
But
fairness,
please
it was an excellent
please
question.
watch
I
that CGP Grey video because he also shows you what the latest design it is, and it is a beautiful design. It is a gorgeous design. It's just amazing. Okay, yes, that is my question. Please, Vineet, take over. Your turn.
In 1890, pharmacist Lunsford Richardson of Selma, North Carolina, took over his brother-in-law's business in Greensboro, North Carolina. Their most popular product was first developed in 1891 in Greensboro. It was introduced in 1905 and then rebranded in 1912 at the instigation of Lunsford's oldest son. The pandemic of 1918 tripled the sales of the product within a year. The company was sold to a huge conglomerate in 1985. More than a century later, this product is still a household name, but not in the name of the man who developed it, but the name of his brother in law, whose name for the product was retained. What product or what famous brand are we talking about? So I'll just summarize it for you, just the salient points. We have a man by the name of Lunsford Richardson who took over his brother in law's business. He was a pharmacist. They released a product in the market, which is the sales of which tripled in 1 year during the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic. It was later sold in 1985 to a huge conglomerate. This brand name is not in the name of Mr. Lunsford, it's in the name of his brother in law whose business he took over. And it is a household name. And when I say household, I mean literally, practically everybody knows this.
I'm gonna make a guess, and this was my first instinct. Kellogg's.
No, it's not Kellogg's.
Okay. Kellogg's also has an interesting history.
Yes, yes, a
Anyways,
lot of
but
self abuse is linked to that.
yeah, lovely. Hopefully, it'll show up in a trivia at some point. Okay, this is a household name. Okay, I guess I'm gonna ask you for a clue. What particular type of product? Is it a food product? Is it a
I'll give you
cleaning?
the clue is in Mr. Lunsford Richardson's profession. He was a pharmacist. And the second clue I'd ask you to focus on was that the sales of this product tripled in a year during the pandemic of 1918.
In the pandemic of 1918 was also a virus, but I can't think of any antivirals.
No, it's not an antiviral, though people who believe in it use it for practically anything.
Chyawanprash.
No, no, no. Chandprash is much older than that. And I have a question on that coming up in a couple of
Oh,
episodes. Yeah.
okay. I'm
But
not gonna then Google anything about Chyawanprash, but interesting. Chyawanprash was obviously not a serious guess. Uh, use it for a lot of things. Chyawanprash kind of vibe though. I would say, and it is famous on the name of his brother-in-law.
yes.
So is it literally named after his brother-in-law?
Yes. His brother in law's last name.
Okay.
Let me just put it this way. I'll give you an additional clue, something it's slightly indulgent, but the additional clue. The brother in law after whom this product is named,
Hmm.
okay, his full name, if you pronounce it now, is rampantly famous in pop culture.
Okay.
And when I
That
mean
does
rampantly famous, he is extremely famous. That
in
name
pop
is
culture.
extremely name. Yeah, because it's see this brother-in-law's name. Let's call it X, whatever it is, or
Okay.
XY, first name, last name.
Mm-hmm.
XY is very, very popular now, especially for the
Now
last
you.
8 years.
Hmm. And my instinct again now goes to Donald Trump.
No, it's not Donald Trump. So if you think XY, Y would be the portion, the last name which by which you know the product.
Ah, okay. Got it.
And XY, if you say it out loud, is also the name of a very, very, very popular pop culture figure for the past 8 years.
Pop culture figure for the past 8 years.
Yes.
Oh wow,
And let me just put
this
it
is
this way,
gonna.
it's also ironic that this pop culture figure is known for his skill in doing practically the exact opposite of this product, what this product is supposed to do.
Uh, Last 8 years specifically, I'm thinking some magician for some reason. I was thinking David Copperfield or somebody like that, but
Oh
no,
no,
that
okay.
won't
David
make sense.
Copperfield's been around for donkey's years. I remember him from the
And
90s.
would
He
also
had
not be
specials in
considered
the 80s and
that
all that.
famous.
Oh, this guy is really famous. See, this product is really famous. This person I'm talking about, this the brother-in-law, his name, if you say it out loud now, the spelling might
Hmm.
be slightly different, but if you say it out loud now,
Okay.
is rampantly famous in pop culture.
Okay, so it's a homophone.
Yeah.
Last 8 years. What field is this pop culture? Because that seems to be my
I'll
entry
put
point into this.
I'll give it to you. It's in the movies.
So is it a character from a movie? It's a fictional character in the
Yes,
movies?
yes, you could say it's a character, it's a name.
Character name in the last 8 years only. Uh, oh boy, what character has gone viral in the last 8 years?
Let's just say that
No
this
idea.
character's name would, this homophone would not have been famous prior to the release of a movie. You wouldn't find any
Okay,
mention prior to a movie releasing in about, I'm guessing around 8 years ago. I'm just giving you this clue, but it's the ballpark is somewhere right.
8 years. Uh, I'm forgetting the name of the character, but I don't know why for some reason I'm thinking Wolf of Wall Street.
No,
Uh,
not Jordan
okay,
Belfort.
Belfort. Yeah. Okay, but before you said this pop culture thing, let me actually go back to it. Let me see if I can find my way to the answer from that approach. My instinct was to go to Crosin. Crosin.
No, that's an
Uh,
Indian product. You're
it is
talking
an
about
Indian
something
product, but
from the US.
it is an Indian product. But yeah, so because you said that the people who abide by this use it for practically everything,
Yeah, 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 same
then
thing here.
again,
It's a similar
I'm
concept. You are close.
again
You are
I'm
close.
going to like a paracetamol, Panadol kind of a situation, but
No, no,
that
not
does not seem like a
Panadol.
last name. Um,
Like as I said, you may not have thought of this as a last name until maybe this movie came out. Again, the
wow,
spelling is
this
slightly different.
I'm pretty sure I would have heard of both these things, and
Oh
yet
yeah,
right
I
now I'm not able
guarantee
to.
it 100%.
Including the pop culture icon.
Yes, yes, 100%. I can tell you
Okay,
that for
let me
sure.
then. Yeah, then I need another clue. I have
Okay,
no
okay.
idea
So
right
I'm going to
now.
put it this way. The product, when it was first released, had the description. It was released with the description that it was a crew and pneumonia salve.
It was a sorry. What was the first thing you said?
Croup,
Oh, okay.
and pneumonia salve.
I have no idea what a croup is.
It's a kind of
No.
cough. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
So that's
Huh.
how it was first described when it was released in 1891. And in 1905, it was name was changed to what we know currently, you know, the famous, utterly famous household name.
I was again going to say aspirin, but again that doesn't fit.
No,
Um. So it's a cough drop kind of a thing. I'm blanking on cough drops right now.
no,
Ooh.
it's not a cough drop, a salve. It's a salve. A salve is like an ointment.
Acha, okay. Sorry. I didn't know that. Salve is an ointment. Oh my god. Poor old
Okay, I'm going to lead
lady.
you to the answer. This is going on for very long, so I'm going to lead you to the
Yeah.
answer by,
Yes,
but
yes,
in
yes.
indirect way. Let's see if we
Please
can do
do.
it backwards, right? So remember
Yeah.
the pop culture character I told you about?
Yes, give me something about that. Yeah.
Yeah, if I told you the name Chad Stahelski,
No, I have no idea what that is. It sounds familiar, but no, I'm currently,
okay,
maybe it's too
let's
late in
put
the
it
night.
this way. Okay, I'm going to just give it to you. If I said Keanu Reeves,
John Wick. Wicks. Oh, is it Wicks?
it is Vix.
John Wick, Wicks. Okay, got it, got it,
Yes,
got it.
so in 1890, pharmacist Lunsford Richardson of Selma, North Carolina, took over the retail
Hmm.
drug business of his brother in law, Dr. John Wick, but with a V,
Oh.
of Greensboro, North Carolina. The most popular remedy they had was a crew and pneumonia salve, which was first compounded in 1891 in Greensboro. It was introduced in 1905 with the name Vicks Magic Crew Salve and rebranded as VapoRub in 1912 at the instigation of Lunsford's son, who assumed the
Well,
presidency of the company in 1919 upon his father's death. And the company, which was then known as Richardson Wicks Incorporated, was eventually sold to Procter and Gamble in 1985.
if anything, Lunsford's wouldn't have rolled off the
No,
tongue
that
just like
wouldn't have had the same
Vicks
ring.
does.
Wouldn't have the same ring. No, but what really attracted me to this question was finding out the guy this is named
John
out was
Wick.
actually named John Wick, who has killed what 490 something odd people across four movies,
Perfect headshots.
and
Perfect headshots.
yeah, and Wicks you basically used okay, you live, just use some Wicks, just use some Wicks. I know people who
Correct,
use
correct,
Wicks to
correct.
stay awake during exams. I know people who use it for a cold, for a cough, for practically everything.
It is the universal drug. You're right. Lovely.
The only
Wow,
thing
that's
I
a
think
very.
probably in Asia which would give it competition would be Tiger Balm and Axe
That
Oil.
was going to be my first guess, but I know Tiger Balm's origin, so I know that wasn't it.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. Okay, I
okay,
think that's all we have time for. We
lovely.
have had a couple of comments that our episodes have gone a little too long in the past couple of weeks. So let's wind up today. But before we leave, Aditya, is there something you need to say to the audience?
Um, sure, why not? I will ask a question. Vicks is the universal drug of choice for a lot of people, but what is the drug of choice in India that cures all sorts of ailments if you were to have one? That would be my question. Yes, I will come up with an answer by next week. Yes.
Yeah. While we leave Aditya to his ruminations, let me thank everyone for listening in. We hope you enjoyed the show and learned something new. Please forgive us for because we are recording this late at night and we are a little extra dumb and a little too sleepy. If you liked what you heard, please consider subscribing to our podcast and leaving us a review on your favorite podcast platform, wherever you're listening to us. It helps us reach a wider audience and allows more people to discover and enjoy the show. So take 5 seconds out of your time and just rate us, please. We'd also love to hear from you, feedback, suggestions, even trivia. You can reach us on Instagram at RUQuizingMe. That's AREYOUQUIZZINGME. We appreciate your support and look forward to sharing more episodes with in the future. Aditya will be back after the musical sting with the fact check. So that's all from me, Vineet.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a good night. Despite our best efforts to the contrary, we didn't make any factual errors in this episode, and hence nothing to fact check this time around.